The Late Bad by Ama Ata Edo. The good child who willingly goes on errands eats the food of peace. This was a favorite saying in the house. Mommy, Auntie Ifwa, Auntie Araba, oh, they all said it, especially when they had prepared something delicious like cocoyam porridge and seasoned beef. You know how it is. First, as they stirred it with a ladle, it sent rose from the pot and became a little cloud hanging over the hearth. Gradually, it spread through the courtyard and entered the inner and outer rooms of the woman's apartment. This was the first scent that greeted the afternoon sleepers. She stretched herself luxuriously, inhaled a large quantity of the sweet scent, cried, mmm, and either fell back again to sleep or got up to be about her business. The aroma did not stay. It rolled into the next house and the next until it filled the whole neighborhood. And Yabba would sniff it. As usual, she'd be playing with her friends by the big trunk. She would suddenly throw down her pebbles, even if it was a 10, jump up, shake her cloth free of dust, and announce, I am going home. Why? Yabba, why? But the questions of her amazed companions would reach her faintly like whispers. She was flying home. Having crossed the threshold, she then slacked by the wall, but there would be none of the food for her. Yabba never stayed at home to go on an errand. Even when she was around, she never fetched water to save a dying soul. How could she then eat the food of peace? Oh, if it was a formal meal, like in the morning or evening, that was a different matter. Of that, even Yaba got her lawful share. But not this sweet, sweet porridge. Ensia Antobam, Na Benyi, Ajua, come for some porridge. And the other children trooped in with their little plates and bowls, but not a figure by the wall. They chatted as they came, and the mothers teased as they dished out the tidbits. Is yours all right, Ajua? And yours, Tiwia? Yours is certainly sufficient, Antubam. But my child, this is only a tidbit for us, the deserving. Other people, and she will squint at Yaba, who have not worked, will not get the tiniest bit. She then started eating hers. If Yaba felt that the joke was being carried too far, she coughed. Oh, the mother will cry out. Some people should be careful about their throats. Even if they coughed until they spat blood, none of this porridge would touch their mouths. But it was not things and incidents like this which worried Yaba, for inevitably a mother's womb cried out for a lonely figure by a wall, and she would be given some porridge, even when her mother could be above-bellied enough to look at her and dish out all the porridge. Yaba could run into the doorway and ambush some child and rob him of a greater part of his share. No, it was not such things that worried her. Every mother might call her a bad girl. She enjoyed playing by the big trunk, for instance, since to be a good girl, one had to stay by the heart and not by the big trunk, throwing pebbles, but with one's hands folded quietly into one's lap, waiting to be sent everywhere by all the mothers. Yaba let people like Ajua, who wanted to be called good, be good. Thank you, she was not interested. But there was something which disturbed Yaba. No one knew it did, but it did. She used to wonder why every time Mommy called Ajua, she called her, my child Ajua, while she was always merely called Yaba. My child Ajua, pick me the drinking can. My child, you have done well. Oh, it is so always. Am I not my mother's child? Yaba, come for your food. She always wished in her heart that She could ask somebody about it. Papa, Mommy, Nana, am I not Mommy's daughter? Who was my mother? But you see, one do not go around asking elders such questions. Take the day Antubam asked her grandmother where her own mother was. The grandmother also asked Antubam whether she was not being looked after well, and then started weeping and saying things. Other mothers joined in the weeping. Then some more women came over from the neighborhood, and her aunts and uncles came too. And there was more weeping, and there was also drinking and libation pouring. At the end of it all, they gave Antubam a stiff talking to. No, one does not go around asking one's elders such questions. But Ajua, my child, bring me the knife. Yabba, Yabba, your cloth is dirty. Yabba, Yabba. It was the afternoon of the Saturday before Christmas Sunday. Yabba had just come from the playground to gobble down her afternoon meal. It was kenke and little fish, stewed in palm oil. She had eaten in a hurry that a bone had got stuck in her throat. She had drunk a lot of water, but still, the bone was sticking there. She did not want to tell Mommy about it. She knew she would get a scolding or even a knock on the head. It was while she was in the outer room, looking for a bit of kinky to push down the troublesome bone, that she heard Mommy talking in the inner room. Ah, and what shall I do now? But I thought there was a whole big lump left. Oh, oh, things like this irritate me so. How can I spend Christmas without vanishing my flaws? Yabba discovered a piece of kinky, which was left from the week before, hidden in its huge wrappings. She pounced upon it, and without breaking away the mildew, swallowed it. She choked, stretched her neck, and the bone was gone. She drank some water, and with her cloth, wiped away the tears which had started gathering in her eyes. She was about to bounce away to the playground when she remembered that she had heard Mommy speaking to herself. Although one must not stand by to listen to elders if they are not addressing one, yet one can hide and listen. And anyway, it will be interesting to hear the sort of things our elders say to themselves. And how can I celebrate Christmas on a hardened whitened floor? Mommy's voice went on. If I could only get a piece of red earth. But I cannot go around my friends begging. Give me a piece of red earth. No. Oh, oh. And it is growing dark already. If only my child Ajua was here. I am sure she could have run to the red earth pit and fetched me just a whole full. Then I could varnish the floor before the church bells ring tomorrow. Yaba was thinking she had heard enough. After all, our elders do not say anything interesting to themselves. It is their usual complaints about how difficult life is. If it is not the price of cloth or fish, then it is the scarcity of water. It is all very uninteresting. I will always play with my children when they grow up. I will not grumble about anything. It was quite dark. The children could hardly see their own hands as they threw up the pebbles. But Yaba insisted that they go on. There were only 3 left of the 8 girls who were playing Susumba. From time to time, mothers, fathers, or elder sisters had come and called to the others to go home. The 2 still with Yaba were Penny and Kakra. Their mother had traveled, and that was why they were still there. No one came any longer to call Yaba. Up till the year before, Mommy always came to yell for her when it was sundown. When she could not come, she sent Ajua. But of course, Yaba never listened to them. What is the point in breaking a game to go home? She stayed out and played even by herself until it was dark and she was satisfied. And now, at the age of 10, no one came to call her. The pebble hits Kakra on the head. Ajay, what is it? The pebble has hit me. I am sorry. It was not intentional, Penny said. It is dark, Kakra. Let us go home. They stood up. Penny, will you go to church tomorrow? No. Why? You have no new clothes? We have new clothes, but will not get gold chains or earrings. Our mother is not at home. She has gone to some place and will return in the afternoon. Kakra, remember, we will get up early tomorrow morning. Why? Have you forgotten what mother told us before she went away? Did she not tell us to go and get some red earth from the pit? Yabba, we are going. Yo. And the twins turned towards home. Red earth? The pit. Probably, Mommy will be the only woman in the village who will not have red earth to varnish her floor. Oh, Penny! Kakra! Penny! Who is calling us? It is me, Yabba. Wait for me. She ran in the darkness and almost collided with someone who was carrying food to her husband's house. Penny, do you say you will go to the pit tomorrow morning? Yes. What is it? I want to go with you. Why? Because I want to get some red earth from my mother. But tomorrow you will go to church. Yes, but I will try to get it done in time to go to church as well. See, you cannot. Do you not know the pit? It is very far away. Everyone will already be at church by the time we get back home. Yabba stood quietly, digging her right toe into the hard ground beneath her. It doesn't matter. I will go. Do you not want to wear your gold things? Kakra and I are very sorry that we cannot wear ours because our mother is not here. It does not matter. Come and wake me up. Where do you sleep? Under my mother's window. I will wake up if you hit the window with a small pebble. We will come to call you. Do not forget your apampa and your hole. When Yabba arrived home, they had already finished eating the evening meal. Ajua had arrived from an errand, it seemed. In fact, she had gone on several others. Yabba was slinking like a cat to take her food, which she knew would be under the wooden bowl, when Mommy saw her. Yes, go and take it. You are hungry, are you not? And very soon, you will be swallowing all the huge lump of fufu as quickly as a hen will swallow corn. Yabba stood still. Hey, my Father God, who inflicted me such a child? Look here, Yabba, you are growing, so be careful how you live your life. When you are 10 years old, you are not a child anymore. And a woman that lives on the playground is not a woman. If you were a boy, it would be bad enough. But for a girl, it is a curse. The house cannot hold you. Cheer. Yabba crept into the outer room. She saw the wooden bowl and turned it over. And as she had known all the time, her food was there. She swallowed it more quickly than a hen would have swallowed corn. When she finished eating, she went into the inner room. She picked her mat, spread it on the floor, threw herself down, and was soon asleep. Long afterwards, Mommy came in from the conversation with the other mothers. When she saw the figure of Yabba, her heart did a somersault. Poop! Went her fist on the figure in the corner. Poop! You lazy, lazy thing! Poop! Poop! You good for nothing empty corn husk of a daughter. She pulled her ears, and Yabba screamed, still sleepy-eyed, and sat up on the mat. If you like, you scream and watch what I will do to you. If I do not pull your mouth, until it is as long as a pistol. Then my name is not Beiwa. But Yabba was now wide awake and tearless. She stared at Mommy with shining tearless eyes. Mommy was angry at this too. I spit in your eyes. Witch, stare at me and tell me if I am going to die tomorrow. At your age. And the blows came. Poop, poop, poop. You do not know that you wash yourself before your skin touches the mat. And after a long day in the sun, the dust and the filth by the big trunk. Oh, poop. You moth-bitten grain. Poop. The clock in the chief's house struck 12 o'clock midnight. Yabba never cried. She only tried, without success, to ward off the blows. Perhaps Mommy was tired herself. Perhaps she was satisfied. Or perhaps she was afraid she was putting herself in the position of Nancy, tempting the spirits to carry their kindness as far as to come and help her beat her daughter. Of course, this would kill Yabba. Anyway, she stopped beating her and lay down by Kofi, Kwame, and Ajua. Yabba saw the figure of Ajua lying peacefully there. It was then her eyes misted. The tears flowed from her eyes. Every time, she wiped them with her cloth, but more came. They did not make any noise for Mommy to hear. Soon, the cloth was wet. When the clock struck 1, she heard Mommy snoring. She herself could not sleep, even when she lay down. Is this woman my mother? Perhaps I shall not go and fetch her some red eggs, but the twins will come. Yabba rose and went into the outer room. There was no door between the inner and outer rooms to creak and wake anybody. She wanted a apampa and a hole. At 10 years of age, she should have had her own of both, but of course, she had not. Ajua's hole, she knew, was in the corner left of the door. She groped and found it. She also knew Ajua's apampa was on the bamboo shelf. It was then she turned and was groping towards the bamboo shelf that she stumbled over the large water bowl. Her chest hit the edge of the tray. The tray tilted and the water poured on the floor. She could not rise up. When Mommy heard the noise her fall made, she screamed, "Thief! Thief! Thief! Everybody, come! There is a thief in my room!" She gave the thief a chance to run away, since he might attack her before the men of the village came. But no thief rushed through the door, and there was no running footsteps in the courtyard. In fact, all was too quiet. She picked up the lantern, pushed the wick up to blazing point, and went gingerly to the outer room. There was Yabba, sprawled like a freshly killed overgrown cock on the tray. She screamed again. "Ah, Yabba, why do you frighten me like this? What were you looking for? This is why I always say you are a witch. What do you want at this time of the night that you should fall on the water bowl and look at the floor? But of course, you were playing when someone lent me a piece of red earth to polish it. Hey!" The figure in the tray just lay there. Mommy bent down to help her up, and then she saw the hole. She stood up again. A hole? I swear by all be that I do not understand this. She lifted her up and was carrying her to the inner room when Yabba's lips parted as if to say something. She closed the lips again. Her eyelids fluttered down and the neck sagged. My savior! There was something strange in the fact that the cry was heard in the north and south of the village. Was it not past midnight? People had heard Mommy's first cry of thief, and by the time she cried out again, the first men were coming from all directions. Soon, the courtyard was full. Questions and answers went round. Some said Yabba was trying to catch a thief, others that she was running from her mother's beatings. But the first thing was to wake her up, pour anu water into her nose, and the mothers ran into their husbands' chambers to bring their giant-sized bottles of the sweetest scent. Touch her face with a little fire. Squeeze a little ginger juice into her nose. The latter was done, and before she could suffer much ordeal, Yabba's eyelid fluttered up. Ah! Oh, we thank God. She is awake, she is awake. Everyone said it. Some were too far away, and saw her neither in the faint nor awake, but they said it as they trooped back to piece together their broken sleep. Ejayao, the village medicine man, examined her and told the now mad mommy that the impact was violent, but I do not think anything has happened to her breastbone. I will bind her up in the beaten herbs, and she should be all right in a few days. Thank you, Eja, said mommy, papa, her grandmother, and the other mothers, and all her relatives. The medicine man went to the house and came back. Yabba's browniest uncle beat up the herbs. Soon, Yabba was bound up. The cock had crowed once. When they laid her down, her relatives then left for their own homes. Only mommy, papa, and the other woman were left. And how is she? One of the women asked. But what really happened? Only Beyiwa can answer you. Beyiwa, what happened? But I am surprised myself. After she had eaten her kinky this afternoon, I heard her movements in the outer room, but I did not mind her. Then she went away and came back when it was dark to eat her food. After our talk, I went to sleep, and there she was lying as usual. She had not had a wash, so I just held her. You held her what? Had she met with death, you would have been the one that pushed her into it, beating a child in the night. But Yabba is too troublesome. And so you think every child will be good? But how did she come to fall in the tree? That is what I cannot tell. My eyes were just playing me tricks when I heard some noise in the outer room. Is that why you shouted thief? Yes. When I went out to see what it was, I saw her lying in the tree, crunching a hole. A hole? Yes, Ajua's hole. Perhaps there was a thief after all. She can tell us the truth, but... So they went on through the early morning. Yabba slept. The second cock crow came. The church bell soon did its Christmas revel. In the distance, they heard the song of the dawn procession. Quite near in the doorway, the regular path of twins' footsteps, drew nearer towards the elderly group by the heart. Both parties were surprised at the encounter. Children, what do you want at dawn? Where is Yabba? Yabba is asleep. May we go and wake her up? She asked us too. Why? She said she will go with us to the Red Earth pit. Oh, oh! The group around the hut was amazed, but they did not show it before the children. You go today. She may come with you next time. Your mother. Walk well, my children. When she wakes up, we shall tell her you came. We cannot understand. Yabba. What affected her head? My sister, the world is a strange place. That is all.